and welcome to Shell Point Today for Wednesday, October 12th. I'm Adam Brown. Coming up on today's show, Ruth Deuber will bring us another great recipe in the What's Cooking segment. And we'll take a look at the latest artwork on display in the art studio in the Creativity Tunnel. But first, we'd like to remind you that if you have an interest in astronomy, then you might want to attend tomorrow's Astronomy Interest Group. Resident Doug Heatherly will give a presentation on dark energy and dark matter. There will also be the opportunity to view the sun through a special telescope, weather permitting. The astronomy meeting is open to everyone and begins at 1:15 p.m. in the Osprey room on the island. Tomorrow is also the time for the fall dance. Let's celebrate by dancing under the harvest moon. That's the theme of this dance, which will be complete with hot apple cider, pumpkin pie, and other autumn-inspired desserts, while dancing to songs you know and love performed by Kelly and Shelley. The cost of the dance is $15 per person and will be held in the Grand Cypress room from 7 to 10 p.m. this Thursday. Make sure you sign up at either service desk. And now, a few volunteer opportunities that you might be interested in. The train room is looking for engineers. Join this fun group of volunteers and help keep the trains on the right track. Also, the Shell Point gift shop is gearing up for season. The gift card department is looking for volunteers to assist in the display, inventory, and ordering of its large gift card selection. Finally, smiling faces are needed at the Woodlands greeter's desk. Some administrative work is necessary. If any of these positions are of interest to you, give Beth Crenshaw a call at 454-2290. And now it's time to head over to Ruth Deuber's kitchen. Why? Well, because it's time for What's Cooking at Shell Point. Ruth is joined by Eleanor Perkins as they make cream cheese dessert squares. Sounds yummy.
Hello, this is What's Cooking at Shell Point, and I'm Ruth Deuber, and I have a guest with me here today. We have cover girl Eleanor Perkins. She's been on the show before, and actually she's almost known as the apple dumpling lady because that was the first one that she did.
That's right.
And everyone just absolutely loves it. Well, she's made a new one, and she's going to do that dessert for us today.
Okay.
I've tried it, and it's absolutely delicious. So we'll let you go ahead, Eleanor.
All right. These are called cream cheese squares, made with crescent rolls, cream cheese, sugar, a little bit of butter, and then cinnamon sugar. So the first thing you do is get an 8x8 pan, lightly spray it with Pam. It doesn't take much, but just to be sure that nothing sticks. Then I like to go on and mix up my cinnamon sugar. It takes 1/4 cup of sugar and 1.5 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, and then take 2 tablespoons of butter and melt that and have it ready too. Okay, now that'll be ready. You take 1 8-count container of crescent dinner rolls, and if I can open them up. Woo, this is a fresh one because it popped right away. Unroll it and take them out, and you need to carefully, let's be sure that I get it started. You're going to unroll and use half of them for the bottom layer. So that half on the perforation right there, and I'm going to put the others down. And you just lay them in the bottom of your pan. Kind of pinch the little perforations together and stretch it out so that it fits. Now that part's done. Several hours before, or if you're going to make it in the morning, you can put your cream cheese out the night before and let it get softened because it needs to be completely softened. Put your 1 8-ounce container of cream cheese in a small bowl container. Add your sugar, and that's 1/2 cup of sugar. And then I mix it, with my mixer. because that's the easiest way to be sure that it's all mixed well. Start it on low. After you get it a little mixed, then you need to put in 1½ teaspoons of vanilla. Now you're just going to see me pour this once because Miss Ruth has a 1½ teaspoon measuring spoon. So you just have to do it one time. I have to do 1½ and you're doing it 2 times. So, all right, put that in there. And I'll put that right there.
I'll take that.
All right, and then get that mixed really good. All right. And it's wonderful if you have a helper here to take things as soon as you finish. That makes it really simple. Then you take this and spread it on top of this bottom layer of crescent rolls. Be sure you get it all out because you don't want to miss any of the good filling. Now just evenly spread that around. Then you take this, got that on me, the next section and unroll it. And you really need to spread it out so you can kind of open this up just a little bit to make it fit on there. And I'm going to place it this way. Place this on top. And it's not going to go quite to the sides, but it's close enough. Then you take your 2 tablespoons of melted butter and you pour that evenly as you can.
That might be more than 2.
Over, huh? That's okay. A little butter. Butter can't hurt anything. Don't use.
Well, yes, it does.
Don't use butter. Don't use margarine. Use butter. Now, pardon my hand, but this is what I do to be sure it goes all the way over. So you're allowed to do this. I think that was a little more than 2 tablespoonfuls. And then as soon as you get the butter poured on there, thank you, ma'am. Then you take your cinnamon sugar and just carefully spoon it over the top, kind of evenly. And use it all, because that makes a nice little, almost a little crisp, sweet layer on top. And it's really good. This goes in the oven at 350, 25 to 30 minutes. My oven takes 25 minutes. So you just have to, I would certainly check it at 25 minutes. And you'll tell when it's done because it's brown on the bottom and it just looks done. So. This is the finished product. See that nice crisp little layer? These are good to eat right after they completely cool, and they do need to cool completely before you cut them, or the inside would be runny and then you wouldn't get as good of effect when you eat it. But after you serve them the first time, it needs to go into the refrigerator because of the cream cheese, but they're just as good cold. They're wonderful cold. Now my husband microwaves his just a little bit because he loves that. He loves them just a little bit warm. But they are good any way. It cuts beautifully.
Fingers work.
Yes, they do. All right.
Oh, look at that. There we go.
There. Oh yes, see that? Wonderful layers. Well, I'll go this way and get a couple more out.
There you go.
And there you go. And I'm going to lick my fingers.
Why not?
Because that's the best part.
Well, I'm going to taste one.
Yes, please do.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to have a bite too. All right.
That is so yummy.
That is good.
Well, you got another winner. Well, thank you so much. The recipe will be on www.shellpoint.net under What's Cooking. So I hope you'll try them. They are absolutely delicious. See you again. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Down in the art studio in the Creativity Tunnel, there is a fascinating display of artwork. Don't forget that you can stop by the art studio anytime on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. as it will be open that time to the public for tours.
Spring light falls into winter night. Hold on, our summer isn't gone. And to think I lied when I said goodbye. It's true, I'm holding on to you like a star in the sky, floating up so high. Gonna fall for you. Catch me when I do. Not a day drifts by without an evening sigh from me. I close my eyes to see when the fire.
And now it's time to cover all of today's happenings, Academy news, menus, and Village Church connections.
Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's Happenings segment of Shell Point TV. I'm Dora Robbins, and I'm here to tell you about all the activities that are going to take place here at Shell Point. We're going to start this morning early at 7:45 with men's Bible study, and that's in the Osprey room on the island. We have men's round robin tennis, that's at 8 o'clock. That's at the tennis courts on the Woodlands. And we have pickleball at 8 o'clock, and that's at the game court on the island. We have Jurassic Travel at 9 o'clock. That's in the egret room on the island. At 9 o'clock, we have Watercolor group with Phil Hilton. That's at the art studio. At 9:15, we have card making and scrapbooking. That's at the Tarpon room on the island. We have ladies' Bible study in the Osprey room at 10 o'clock. We also have at 10 o'clock men's match play tennis. That's at the tennis courts at the Woodlands. From 10 to 4, we have Welcome to Walkthrough. That's at the club at Shell Point. At 10:15, we have Medicare Part D update. That's at the Social Center. Sign up is required. We have the Model Yacht Sailing Club at 10:15. That's at the Commons at Lakewood. At 11:30, we have Agility, Balance, and Flexibility. That's at the Health Club on the island, and that's full. At 12:45, we have Strength and Conditioning, and that's at the Health Club. Sign up is required. We have Chess at 1 o'clock, and that's at the Library Lounge. Model Train Room is open from 1:30 to 3:30. And at 1:45, we have Balance, Stability, and Strength. That's at the Health Club on the island. We have Jazz and Stuff at 2:30. That's at the Grand Cypress at the Woodlands. At 3 o'clock, we have Pilates Bar Fusion. That's at the Health Club on the island. At 4:30, we have Indoor Bocce, and that's at the Health Club on the island. At 5 o'clock, we have singles tables at the Crystal Dining Room. We have church choir at 5:45. That's at the choir room. And the last activity for the day is at 7:15, prayer and praise at the Village Church. Thanks, and everybody have a good day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Terry Colath with your Academy information for Wednesday. At 1 o'clock, Intermediate Bridge begins in the Game Room of the Woodlands for those who have signed up. Tomorrow, we have a new iPhone class. The topic is Talking is the New Typing. This is Lesson 1 with Bruce Findlay of Sundial.
Menus for Wednesday. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter is beef lasagna with spinach and garlic bread and carrots. For dinner, you can choose from their a la carte menu. The soup of the day is tortellini and Italian sausage. In the Island Cafe, the sandwich special is a hot corned beef on a Kaiser with potato salad for $7.95. Dinner specials in the Palm Grill are Chilean sea bass for $21.95 or stuffed pork loin for $14.95. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Welcome to Village Church Connections once again. I'm David Pavey. Some time ago, when I was serving as a pastor in Britain, several stories hit the news almost simultaneously. One was about a 16-year-old girl named Lydia Playfoot, who was refused permission by her high school to wear what she called a chastity ring on her finger, symbolizing her Christian faith and her intention not to engage in sex before marriage. But rather than accept the school's ban on her wearing the ring, Lydia went to court, claiming that if Muslims could wear headscarves, she should be able to wear a little ring as a sign of her Christian faith. The judge upheld the position of the school, however, claiming that the ring was not a sign of her faith, but a sign of her moral position. Now imagine that. In other words, even if her faith was acceptable, presumably her moral position wasn't. The assumption was that since sex before marriage is now considered normal by some, Lydia Playfoot might offend promiscuous students by her moral stand. My word. Another story was about what the media referred to as a sacred cow. Actually, it wasn't a cow at all, but a steer named Shambo that a small community of Hindus worshipped in Wales. Shambo, the steer, was housed in a so-called temple, but had developed tuberculosis, and the law required that he would be put down so that he wouldn't infect other animals. The Hindus went to court, however, appealing for Shambo to be spared from capital punishment. And to the horror of local farmers, the judge ruled in favor of Shambo, the holy cow. So, a high school girl can't wear a ring as a symbol of her Christian faith, but an infected steer can be permitted to live to keep a handful of Hindus happy. Hello? I need to admit, however, that the outcry from Welsh farmers was understandably very loud, and their voice prevailed. So about a week later, the High Court reversed the lower court's decision, and Shambo was led away to be put to sleep. Then another British story caught my attention. An independent adjudicator ruled that Muslims should be able to head up the Christian Union at Exeter University. He went on to suggest that on the university campus, the Welsh Society should be open to Scottish members, the Wine Society open to teetotalers, the Choral Society open to non-singing members, and the Cheerleading Society open to male members. Now please. Naturally, the Christian student at the center of the Exeter University row appealed the ruling as unbalanced and selective, and went on to seek a judicial review in the High Court. Is anybody home? What's going on in what used to be known as Christian England? It's politely known as culture drift. And while we can smile at stories from overseas, we know full well that devout Christians are feeling the pinch right here in the United States too. Wrote Fiona Barnard, a Bible commentator, "We become enslaved in a country where economics are the supreme value, in a society entertaining itself to death, and in a church distracted by non-essentials." Now there's a verse tucked away in the Old Testament of the Bible, 1 Samuel 3:20, where a prophet is informing Eli, the high priest, of God's coming judgment on his family because they had dishonored him. In the process, God gave us a powerful precept. Those who honor me, I will honor, and I will despise those who think lightly of me. Perhaps this is what inspired King Solomon a couple of generations later to urge people to honor the Lord with your wealth and with the first fruits of all your produce. I think of Daniel, who honored God by refusing to pray to King Nebuchadnezzar. As a result, he was thrown into the den of lions, where God honored him by miraculously protecting him. He honored God, God honored him. Dare to be a Daniel. Dare to stand alone. Dare to have a purpose firm, and dare to make it known. Remember the famous words of Caesar, reporting on one of his victories? Veni, vidi, vici. I came, I saw, I conquered. Well, John III Sobieski, King of Poland, is remembered as the man who saved Central Europe from invading armies from Turkey in 1683. With the Turks already at the walls of Vienna, Sobieski led a charge that broke the siege. His rescue of Vienna was a decisive event in European history. But in announcing his great victory, the king paraphrased the famous words of Caesar by saying simply, "We came, we saw, God conquered." He honored God, who said, "Those who honor me, I will honor." Oh yes, culture drift is alive and well in our land. We have lost our moral compass. Lies parade as truth. Corruption presents itself as integrity. Words lose their value, and marriage its virtue. Some who seek to honor God by their behavior are taken to court, are charged fines, are mocked and belittled. Our day of testing is coming, so I ask you today, will you be willing to take a stand for the one who said, "Those who honor me, I will honor"? And thank you for tuning in once again to Village Church Connections.
Thanks for joining us for today's program. Return tomorrow when volunteer manager Beth Crenshaw visits with Jane Haynes of the Pavilion Auxiliary to talk more about the Bakeless Bake Sale. And the folks at Finemark Bank will talk about ATM safety. Until then, this has been Shell Point Today for Wednesday, October 12th. I'm Adam Brown, thanking you for watching today, and we look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.